From the Pep Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. The Philadelphia Gay News is reporting that President-elect Trump announced a newly created position within the federal government, border czar, for which he chose Tom Homan, who served in Trump's first administration as acting director of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. ICE is a federal law enforcement agency under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. ICE's stated mission is to protect the U.S. from cross-border crime and undocumented immigration that threaten national security and public safety. Homan advocates for deportation of undocumented immigrants and has stated emphatically that sanctuary cities must be abolished and has pledged to run the biggest deportation the U.S. has ever seen. Homan has already issued a directive to Democratic governors to get the hell out of the way on his deportation mission. Philadelphia has been a sanctuary city since 2016, which makes it one of the safest places to be for undocumented people as they attempt to find a legal pathway to lawful permanent residency. That sanctuary status means that there's no collaboration between the Philadelphia Police Department and ICE. Local police officers don't help ICE round up or arrest immigrants. They also won't participate in ICE holds, which are 48-hour holds of non-citizens who would have otherwise been released from police custody or jail. If ICE wants someone who is in jail, they must present a signed judicial warrant that will force the police to keep them. Contrary to the arguments made during the election stating that illegal immigrants are all criminals, sanctuary status can lower the crime rate. When undocumented immigrants feel they can call the police without fear of investigation into their immigration status, they are more likely to report crimes either against themselves or others. Such mutual trust has been known to bolster people's sense of connection to their community. While it's unclear exactly how many undocumented people are living and working in Philadelphia, the Migration Policy Institute puts the number at about 60,000 or more. Maintaining the protections of the sanctuary city will allow those people the opportunity to stay protected while they work their way toward their citizenship goals. In education news, educators and university leaders are on the edge of their seats as President-elect Trump makes his return to office with an aggressive posture toward K-12 and higher education. Trump has threatened multiple times to take away funding from schools if they do not align with his views on subjects such as diversity, equity, and inclusion, and transgender rights. That threat has left institutions holding their breath as they try to prepare with how to deal with the hostility they could face for the next 4 years. Trump has threatened to tax endowments, impose budget reconciliation, and fine institutions up to the entire amount of their endowment if they are perceived as having promoted wokeism, which risks eroding academic freedom, institutional autonomy, and the democratic purposes of higher education, according to Lynn Pasquarella, president of the American Association of Colleges and Universities. The federal government gives billions of dollars to colleges and universities every year, from grants to research funding to direct financial aid. The president-elect has also said he would tax the endowments of schools that spend money on racial equity, and a portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly, according to Trump. He said K-12 schools that teach critical race theory, gender ideology, or other inappropriate racial, sexual, and political content on our children would also see a cut in federal funding. K-12 institutions receive most of their funding from state and local governments, while 7.6% came from the federal government in the 2019-2020 school year. And we close today's news on a somewhat more positive note from the Mahoning Valley. A transitional homeless shelter for the LGBTQIA plus community hopes to open in the valley by next year. Full Spectrum announced its brand new housing division, which is a separate unit of its outreach division. The 30 to 90-day adult shelter has been a project in the works for over 5 years. Full Spectrum says there is no 100% safe and accepting shelter within a 40-mile radius of the Mahoning Valley, making the shelter the first of its kind. The shelter will also provide life skills, training, volunteer opportunities, and housing assistance for clients who stay there. More details will be released as plans unfold. For more information about housing, you can email charity@fullspectrumcommunityoutreach.org. To learn more about the stories in today's news, turn to the PEP Radio page on the Pennsylvania Equality Project website. To take PEP Radio with you wherever you go, download the Live 365 app. That's the news at this hour. Now back to more music on PEP Radio.